Shikimori's not just a cutie. Yes, I'm gonna say the full name of these shows every single time. Is actually really bad. It suffers from the fundamental failing of being about a guy with a cute girlfriend rather than being about a cute girl with a boyfriend. Its premise sets itself up to be a really funny gag comedy about a super cute, super cool girl with a really dumb boyfriend who gets into trouble all the time, but instead the anime tries to be this really slow, methodical slice of life show, and it can't even really do that right because even slice of life shows make an effort to develop their characters, whereas in this show, every character has the same level of development as characters from aharen, meaning that they have absolutely none outside of one trait or gimmick. If this were a gag comedy in the same vein as aharen, that'd be fine because you don't need well-developed characters for silly gags, but a slice of life show is all about the characters, their development, and their daily lives. Here, the guy and the girl are already a couple, and despite being 4 episodes in now, the only character who gets any development is the main guy, Yu, who's super fucking boring. He just isn't very interesting whatsoever, as he's one of the dime a dozen romance leads you see in most romance anime, yet he's the main focus of the show when it should be the other way around. His character is super annoying, his voice is super annoying. God, I want to fucking hit him. And in general, he just brings the entire show down. It's annoying enough that the show falters with its premise as a potentially amazing comedy, but even despite settling into the slice of life genre and being animated by fucking Doga Kobo, the king of slice of life anime, it fails at every point. There's nothing entertaining about this show, and every episode is the exact same thing of you and Shikimori doing something, the audience learning more about you and not the titular fucking character, and then Shikimori doing something cute or cool. It's tired, plain, and boring. I wouldn't usually complain about quote-unquote nothing happening in a slice of life show, but this show just doesn't work as one, and it doesn't help that the pacing of the episodes is so bad that I find myself hoping it's over, only to look down and see it's only been 10 fucking minutes. It's easily the biggest letdown of the season, but I find myself constantly returning to watch it because of everyone saying how much better Shikimori is than my dress-up darling's Marin. But what people seem to not understand is that part of what makes Marin great is that the show she comes from is actually good, on top of the fact that Marin herself is also realistic, as you could definitely meet a girl like Marin in real life, whereas Shikimori is peak anime fiction, complete with her being a super cute badass that gets weak in the knees over silly little things and will totes always protect you for no real reason. Add that to the fact that the anime spends more time developing the main character and telling you how great a guy he is every 5 seconds, and it makes me suspect that this is actually just the author's self-insert in disguise. Gojo from Dress Up Darling was his own well-developed character, and he had to share that screen time with Marin. Meanwhile, this fuckwad hogs all the goddamn screen time, and it just makes me hate him more despite spending so much goddamn time on him. God, I fucking hate his voice. In 4 episodes, Shikimori, the fucking character the show is named after, has gotten very little focus and only serves as a vehicle for you to learn more about her super great BF who can do nothing wrong because he's awesome. God, I hate myself. Which then, in turn, makes Shikimori herself very bland. Her entire angle is that she's cute and cool, but it's all in service to the main character, and her character itself has absolutely no agency whatsoever. She doesn't even feel like a real character, and what makes a great waifu is the character portion itself. Just being cute and hot doesn't work, as characters like Marin are great because she has likes and dislikes, and, you know, a fucking personality. Shikimori is kind of like that one really hot girl you beat off to in a doujin, but that you'd never actually buy merch of or even really tell anybody about because her only defining trait is that she's hot and will maybe sometimes step on you. She has no defining traits or characteristics of her own and instead just has the same gimmick over and over again, and her only other defining character trait is that she really likes this loser for some reason. She fails as a waifu, but more importantly, she fails as a character, and this show itself fails at every turn, from not using its premise to its maximum potential to sticking itself in a genre where it just doesn't fit in and refusing to develop any character that isn't this dickhead. It's an absolute god-awful show that I can't even give a 5 out of 10 to because I just dislike it more and more with each episode as it continues to consistently let me down. It does excel at a technical level as the animation is really good, the art is fucking beautiful, and the OP is an absolute bop. Honey Jet Coaster. But it fails at every other point and is just being carried by the animation studio at this point. It's not worth your time unless you're horny and bored, and Shikimori herself has failed at being the best girl of the season that I thought she would be. But at least her younger self is the true best girl this season. If you want an anime that is worth your time, then check out this video here.